Welcome back. In the previous, we had discussed what is a program, what is process, what are the difference between process and program, how to represent a process in memory, in main memory. Now we will move to process states. Move to process state. So the state of a process is changed during execution. A process can change their state. How we define a state? The state of a process, is defined by the current activity. The state of a process is defined in part by the current activity of that particular process. The current activity that is performed with that particular process. Based on that, we are defining the state. Generally, we have 5 types of states. What are the 5 steps? New, ready, running, waiting, terminated. That is, a process is in any of these 5 states. A process is any of these 5 states: new state, ready state, running state, waiting state, or terminated state. New state means whenever a process is created, that is simply a newly created process. A newly created process is present in new state. Newly created process is present in new state. Ready state means once the process is created and the process is ready for execution, but we are not allocating the processor. What is processor? Processor is also called as a CPU. Once the CPU is allocated, then only it performs execution. So ready state means simply the process waiting to be assigned to processor. That means the entire process is ready for execution, but we are not allocating any processor to that process. Those type of process are present in ready state. That means the processes that are present in ready state are ready for execution. Whenever we are giving a CPU, they are performing their execution. That is, once we are given a CPU, they are entered into running state. So running state means execution. Set of instructions are in execution. That is, a process in execution or is in ready state. That means for the process present in the ready state, we are allocating the CPU. Remember, whenever we are allocating a CPU to the process in ready state, then that process entered into running state. That is, it changes its state during execution. Suppose a process requires an IO operation or any other event. So during execution, a process requires for an event, and that process is entered into waiting state. Terminated means simply end of the process. Either normally or abnormally, the process ends. That is terminated state. So a process is any one of the 5 states. Now we will see the process state diagram. That is how we are performing transitions from one state to another state. So what is the first state? First state is new state. Okay, new state. In the new state, the process is created. Whenever the process is created and the process admitted, that is entered into ready state. Whenever the process is created, the process entered into ready state. Okay, on the ready state, whenever, suppose this is running, whenever we are allocating CPU to the process in the ready state, we are entering into running state. We are entering into running state. This is called dispatcher. So what is the meaning of this dispatcher? We will discuss next concept, that is in scheduling algorithms. Okay, scheduler dispatcher means we are allocating the CPU to one process according to some scheduling algorithms. So whenever scheduler dispatcher is called, automatically that process entered into running state. During running, that is during execution, if any interrupt occurs, during execution, if any interrupt occurs, it moves to ready state. Here what do you mean by interrupt? Very simple point, very simple point. Suppose we are in execution, if a high priority process comes and requests for the CPU, if a high priority process come and require for the CPU, then what happens? Already running process is moved to the ready state and we are given the CPU to the high priority process, that is this one, interrupt. Whenever interrupt occurs means a high priority process. Not only high priority, depending on the scheduling algorithm. For example, if you are using shortest remaining time first, whenever a new process comes, the burst time of the new process is low compared to already running process, then the running process move to ready state and new process entered into running state. Okay, no problem, we will discuss all scheduling algorithms. Okay, in simple, interrupt means running state process is moved to ready state. And one more case is also present. During running, whenever a process required for an IO operation or any event, so wait for an event. Whenever a process requires an event, that process enter into waiting state. Suppose simply assume some IO event. You required any IO operations, move to waiting state. Then what happens in waiting state? In waiting state, all IO operations are completed. So after completion, see this one. After IO, it again moves to ready state. Again moves to ready state. This is the procedure. Okay. At running state, another combination is exit. That is, if process is completed, the process entered into terminated state. The process entered into terminated state. This is the state diagram. New state, ready. At the ready state, it is ready for execution but no CPU. Whenever dispatcher allocates the CPU, enter into the running state. During running, we have many number of cases. One case is the entire process is completed, move to terminated state. If the process in running state requires an IO operation, moves to waiting state. Suppose if the process is interrupt, move to ready state. Move to ready state. In waiting state, after completion of IO operation, it moves to this one. It moves to this one. So this is process state diagram. And before closing this one, I will explain one more point. In scheduling, we have two types: preemptive, non-preemptive. Preemptive, non-preemptive. What is the difference? Preemptive, non-preemptive means, suppose the non-preemption means if one process is in execution, that is, if one process is in running state, no other process can enter into the running state. After completion of this process, then only another process entered into running state. That is a non-preemption. That is, after completion of one process, then only the new process entered into the running state. But coming to preemption, when one process is in running state, suppose if a high priority process comes, then what happens? We stop the execution of the running process. And that process is moved to ready state, and the high priority process enter into running state. That is called preemption. So this scheduling, this ready state, this one is called, observe this one, this diagram represents a preemptive process state diagram. Why? Because here I am using an interrupt. This is one of the question asked in previous gate. So this diagram represents, this is a primitive scheduling. This is a primitive process state diagram. Why? Whenever interrupt occurs, we are moving into ready state. For example, if you remove this line, that means there is no way from running state to ready state. There is no way from running state to ready state. That means after completion of this process, then scheduler dispatcher allocates another process. This is called non-preemptive process state diagram. You got the difference? Preemptive and non-preemptive state diagrams. Remember, this question is asked in previous gate question. Okay, this is the process state diagram. Okay, for our purpose I am using this one. Otherwise you can write both the state diagrams. One is this one with the preemption. Suppose if you are removing this arrow mark, that is with the non-preemption. Okay, next session we will move to the process control block. Thank you.